in the second game. It would be a great upset if they did manage to bring down Aster.Aries 2-0. But of course, Aster.Aries are looking to turn this into a third and decisive game. Which one of these teams can lay claim to their destiny? Let's find out. Big smoke gank early on coming in from Aster.Aries. Not going to lead to them finding a kill just yet, but nice hook coming in from Shang-Chi. They drag back TZ. Okay, that combo is disgusting. The Fortune's End into hook. No way to avoid that one. I think that's a harbinger of things to come here, Kips. That's probably going to happen many times in this game.
It's a counterplay. Yeah, no counterplay. And Fortune's End has pretty decent range as well. This is, well, was it you that I went off to a couple of days ago? Was like, I don't know why they're picking Dazzle when Oracle is available. Like, the answer is mostly that the function of Dazzle is about minus armor and about threatening to pick Bristleback.
Yep. It's like, don't make us do it.
Since there was no threat to pick Bristleback here, Oracle has more utility than a Dazzle. He pushes slightly less, but his save is better. And he's got this beautiful purging route.
Look at what they've done here, Kips. They made the decision to put this Shang-Chi purge in the top lane, have him contest against Molasses, and that's going to be him leaving the Razor down bottom. We used to see this all the time. This is one of the reasons people started picking the off-lane Razor to begin with, to contest the TA and just make her life as awkward as humanly possible. And then first it started with them just picking it safe lane. You contest the TA later on in the game, and people realize, wait a second, just start at the beginning. Don't allow her to actually have a game of Dota. And Ulu has certainly gotten this memo. Vegetable Dog will not be allowed to have 2 games in a row that are decent enough for him. Ulu's just going to try and stick on him the entire time.
Yep, and with his support pulling the wave again, he gets a veritable one-on-one down here. And this is... They didn't have to do it. This Razor was also going to have a good lane versus the Doom. He was also going to have a good lane versus the Kunkka. He could have gone wherever he wanted. But they want to be as annoying as possible, and Vegetable Dog is not going to enjoy his time down here all that much.
Not at all. So you're going to have to try to find some specialized ways of coming back into this matchup. Might require some help from the rest of the squad. As a Blessing is playing a mano versus the Zeus in the mid lane. The 2 bearded men. This is very boring, if I'm honest, because nothing's going to happen here.
Yep. Yeah, they're just gonna sit around, waffle about how everything was better in the old times, whistle at the ladies pass by, that sort of thing. Old man stuff.
The old man lane. Top old man stuff is not going to be happening here because we have the fat man instead who gets the drag back onto this Doom. The combo happens once more. And they find him underneath the tier 1. This is good stuff. 2 kills that you've already been involved in. You haven't even gotten appointed to Flesh Heap. Getting these early kills, you always feel super good about this as the Pudge. And unfortunately, the longer and the more these happen, the harder it is for heroes in the top lane, the Doom and the Visage, to meaningfully challenge the Pudge such that he feels awkward in this lane. Just going to be having the time of his life if he keeps going like this.
And with the Oracle really being uncontested, because he's very vulnerable in the first couple of levels, right? But as soon as the second level in the Purifying Flame starts coming in, you're going to get spammed. Spammed.
Just gonna be...
It is incredibly annoying.
It's a very cool sound effect, though, I will admit.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Even though when you die to it, you don't feel good about yourself. You're like, at least it looked nice, it sounded cool. Sometimes that's all you get out of Dota.
Yeah.
Looks like they might want to try something again here. Fortune's End going out, but no angle for a hook. And doesn't seem like the Pudge even dares to try it, doesn't care about this. He just wants to be able to get his own farm. Given that this is technically the safe lane Pudge, as bottom we do see them being able to pick up TZ, TK and Ulu comboing up there. But technically this is sort of a safe lane Pudge, right? What build do you expect we're going to see from him, as he does get the hook back onto Molasses? And you were just talking about the level 2 Purifying Flames. As soon as it's available, that is going to be a dead Doom. And indeed, Molasses gets brought down in the top lane.
The other thing I'm noticing here, by the way, is that I think this Visage is last hitting. It is not the Doom. They've seen what kind of an impossible matchup they're up against. So even though Molasses is ostensibly their offlaner, he's playing the post 4 this game, which you should be happy about, because this is still a core Visage.
Yeah, I'm very happy about this. It's a core Visage now, makes things a lot easier. It's become, like you said, very apparent that Molasses is not going to be allowed to play Dota. So I'm fine with this. And in general, I just think that Visage having farm and having experience much more useful than a Visage that doesn't. So I'm glad to see that this is going to be happening. Will also mean that it will get to these Boots of Bearings, potentially the super early Agnum shot as well. Either way, can actually play Dota and make things happen across the map, which is what I always want to see out of Visages, not just being a lane support.
Yeah, and the other thing that I really want to bring up here is, as they're trying to make go for Impana, he's just going to escape, he's fine, is that they don't have any tower damage if this is a support Visage. He's going to get his familiars late, he's going to be weak, he can't just siege down towers on his own because people just come up to him and kill him. But with a core Visage, you're going to get a siege engine on your lineup and actual tower consequences, which is so important if you want to get actually gain terrain in a game like this.
That is the one thing that Aster.Aries has been lacking across all of these games. As hold on, we might see a kill onto the Visage. I think they've realized that the Visage is the core now, so they have more incentive to try to bring her down. Not only that, they just got Thunder God's Wrath, so it's an easy kill to boot. And they've also turning it up onto Molasses. 5 kills that this Pudge has been involved in. 5 flesh heap stacks at 5 minutes. Literally the perfect start for a hero like this. It's all going according to plan right now.
Yep. At the very least for Wolf, though, Vegetable Dog is not doing as badly as I thought he would. Ulu has had to step back a little bit, and the TA is doing pretty well for herself here in the CS department.
Yeah, this is mostly because he's been abandoned by TK, and TK's gonna die middle for this. If I'm Ulu, I'm laughing at him right now. I'm like, that's what you get, buddy. You wanted to go mid, yeah. Fun, right? Should have stayed bottom and helped me farm.
It's catapults, though. Like, these Chinese supports are always going to be mid at the catapults. In Dutch, you say you can. How do you actually translate this? You can set your clock right by it.
Oh, like
I don't know exactly
a reliable timing. As soon as the siege wave comes out, just like the reliable timing of Fortune's end into a hook is always going to result in a kill. And they also just got, he's level 6 already. Dismember to get the kill. Visage is only level 4. This is not how this game was supposed to start. Wolf needed anything but this. This is all going wrong in a hurry, and they're not done just yet. In the top lane, after the Fortune's end, they're still trying to chase down Molasses. He is juking and jiving, trying to deny an angle for a hook shot, but it doesn't matter. Between the Purifying Flames and the Rot, they have more than enough ways to walk him down and get the kill. They're forced to respond with literally everybody on the map except for the TA to come top and kill this Pudge, but that just means that now Vegetable Dog is isolated in this bottom lane. Ulu and TK realize this, and they will immediately jump on him. Quick kill happening onto the TA, and yes, you do get the Pudge. It requires every single rotation, but still you end up losing your real safe laner to what the opponent is planning to run as that proper core role.
Like, this Pudge is just having a fun time, and he's going to be snowballing. He's not going to be farming, so all of the strength that he's building up now is absolutely huge, and he's going to be levering that against you constantly in the next 15 minutes. Whereas this Razor probably will just back off and enjoy all of that space that has been made, so not again.
Did you see that hook? What a player.
I did not.
So
I'm gonna open the stream so I can see it in 5 minutes.
It's a very impressive hook. So he waits until he knows Visage is trying to escape using the
Zeus,
Grave Chill. Zeus is going to die. Finally, some good news happening here for Wolf. I see that though. TK comes in with the 3-hero avalanche. They prevent the death from happening quickly. It eventually comes out, but if this Zeus was 1 level higher, he probably ends up living there. And Wolf feeling very awkward about the fact that they had to commit 3 heroes to find this kill. Almost it didn't end up getting it. And because of the way that these lanes are stacked up, there's no Siege Dragon coming in. They can't even put pressure onto the tower as a result of picking up this mid Zeus.
No, pretty awkward. So he's going to be back before they can mount any kind of push, and they still haven't taken any advantages in any lane where you can say, all right, fine, now they can finally shove through this. At the very least, level 6 is online on the Visage, but he is so scared, man.
What did you be? I'm scared for him. You're doing the right thing. Hide, bro. Just stay in fountain. It's okay. Pudge can't hurt you in the fountain. Sight? Yes, he can.
Yes, he can. We're in a war, Sean. This is simulated warfare. Death is gonna come for him. Exactly.
Speaking of what Warfare can bring, Ulu is picking up the tools of Warfare that this Razor normally employs. BKB coming soon. Almost has the first Ogre Axe component. Might need a little bit of help here because they're getting the tower lower and lower. And we are at the point where this vegetable dog TA does not feel safe occupying this lane. So should be a tower being taken down fairly soon. TZ, in fact, might actually die first. Doesn't have access to any dives. I think TK must have interrupted that. So they just claim the kill. Ulu should be able to claim the tower off the back of this. Decent amount of damage being stolen. Pretty large wave. And Siege Wagons coming not too long from now. Probably a tier 1 soon. They might actually go for more. Vegetable Dog is in an awkward and very weird position, but reads the move just in time. If he sticks around for 2 more seconds, he's actually dead, but moves at the right moment, will be able to stay alive.
I was pretty close to an overstep. Oh, Pudge is going mid.
Yeah, Pudge is coming mid to help Zeus. They almost brought down the Zeus here, but Red Panda was able to supply some help. Didn't even need to use the Fortunes into the full ultimate for the False Promise, but turns out that Pudge also being here does dissuade the rest of Wolf from trying to make anything aggressive happen. The one thing that we didn't talk about though, with the switch of putting this Doom into a support role, it does mean that we're not going to be having a very fast Blink Dagger on top of him. So the Blink Doom plays are going to be very delayed in coming in this game.
Much more limited, which is great for both the Zeus as well as the Oracle. Excellent news for them. It's really going to be mostly staying out of the vision of the Visage, but that is much more doable than dodging Blink Dooms.
Bottom. Thinking about mounting a defense here from the side of Wolf team. Aster.Aries does have 3 heroes in this bottom lane. TK looking for an inroad in. They find a plasma field onto both of them here, so they know what's happening. They get the toss forward. Okay, TZ will go into this Phoenix Supernova, but probably will end up getting popped by Ulu. Ulu's not hitting it though, so he will get stunned up as this egg will pop in front of his face. They've already lost 2. Zeus ultimate will get thrown out, but unfortunately the response from Wolf coming into this bottom lane, they managed to find a very quick pickup onto Ulu as well. More importantly though, they save the life of Vegetable Dog and of TZ. I really thought either of them were going to die, but nope. Big turnaround going into Aster.Aries instead.
Huge, and they're allowed to do that because the Pudge, he hooked a catapult top, so even though he didn't show, they knew that he was on the top lane and it would take him time to actually get to that bottom tower siege. And that means that they have no repositioning tool. They can just TP people in and there's nothing Aries can really do about it. Yeah, you just bring all 5. You know they have a max of 4, maybe a Zeus ult. I mean, it's 3 really. That Pudge is not there in time.
Yeah.
And they're going to keep on going for this bottom tower. They have to. They have to break this bottom tower, otherwise you're letting Visage run the game for you.
They feel so scared. Look at Ulu. He's a little bit skittish without having Eye of the Storm about making this potential big movement. So they're going to call for help. Red Panda also going to show up to assist a little bit with this. Doesn't have access to False Promise.
Yeah.
They bring everybody. They're like, everybody who is available on the map, you need to come bottom right now. And Wolf, though, doing the same. They're bringing down Blessing, who wants to be a part of this fight. They get the Doom out onto the Tiny. Big boat flying forth as well. Not going to stun anybody, but will give them the Coco Rum. Shang-Chi trying to bring down TZ. Will be able to do so with the help of Ulu. Molasses now also finding himself going low on the HP, but Punch is getting even lower. So Shang-Chi will end up dying. At the same time, though, Vegetable Dog is getting walked like a dog by Ulu, and they will be able to claim the TA's life. TK might die for this. DT will, brought down by these vicious familiars, who now wants to look towards getting down Ulu as well. In the meantime, Blessing, he fell so low. He's armlet toggling for his life here, but he's been caught out by both Yi and Red Panda. Can they bring him down in time? No, they cannot, because there's way too much damage coming in from these vicious familiars. The decision to make this vicious a call panning out for them. It's a triple kill. Gibbs, it is about to be an ultra Blessing. No, how could you? How could you? Oh my gosh. Well, it's 4 heroes dead, but it's not an ultra kill. Such boring play coming in from this Kunkka.
The tower stands. And the defensive lineup stands. And Ulu tossed everything at them once again. At least he gets to live, but in the long fight versus a Visage, actually at this point in the game, he loses, which is not something Razor is used to. He loves long fights.
Tons of damage came out from this Kunkka as well. He was allowed to sit in the trees for so long, just throwing in boats, cleaves every now and then, X's back. And they just, you could tell that they were sort of like deprioritizing the Kunkka. They're like, well, the important heroes are the TA, the Phoenix, the Doom. If we can deal with these heroes, we can win the fight. But just between the Kunkka and the Visage, it turns out that's not the case. These are heroes that cannot be ignored even at this early stage.
Yeah, or you have to disengage from them after you get what you want, because they will win the long engagement. And that sucks, because you feel like you want this tower. That's why you brought everyone to bottom. It still stands. They made 2 attempts. They brought their entire team. Tower's still up. And now they're squeezed into a position where it's really just Razor's going to get to BKB, and then they're going to try something again. But for some reason, I doubt it's going to be bot tower.
Yeah, I think their spirit has been broken with regards to this push. They are going to play very far away from this side of the map. They're like, yeah, okay, fine. Y'all can keep that tower. We don't care about it anyway. It's a stupid tower.
Yeah, if you want it so badly, you can have it.
Red Panda getting aggressed on right now. This is familiar. Drops will be there. Prevent any kind of escape. He does have the false promise, but also knows well enough that there's no point utilizing it. It was definitely going to die. No. That is going to be a lot of gold going towards Visage. Finish the full drums. His courier is dead, but soon going to have the full Boots of Bearing available on this Visage. The decision to make this hero a core. My goodness, are they being vindicated right now with these last couple of fights. And they get to keep this map control as well. Top tower is gone, so they get to play in that sliver of the jungle with Vegetable Dog, farming closer towards having the Deso Blink. No such opportunities really exist for Aster.Aries. You can see how consigned to their side of the map they feel, and how little avenues of farming up everybody at once they feel they have available to them right now.
Yep. And they're going to have to start playing into this top side of the map soon without, you know, having any other options really, because Roshan is going to be available to this TA once she brings over that second Mithril Hammer. And you're going to have to be ready to contest that. You cannot allow the TA to get herself an early Roshan here.
Yep. One thing that really sucks about this lineup from Aster.Aries, I mean, we spoke about what happens if they play this Visage as a support. They don't have any push potential on the side of Wolf Team. They just don't have any push potential full stop on the side of Aster.Aries. Unless they go for like the super early Aghanim Scepter on Ulu with the Refresher, there's just no way for them to knock over buildings unless they win a big fight. And I mean, as evidenced by how much effort they expended down in this bottom lane to get this tower for pretty much no benefit. So what can they do to try and buttress their ability to take down towers and not just rely on huge teamfight victories?
Buy a Meteor Hammer? Like, the ability to take down towers is one of the things that you can't really itemize your way out of. Like, you can cut waves and let the creeps do most of the work if you have proxy push with illusions or creeps, or if you have heroes that can clear waves in 2 shots. But I see no pucks here, I see no spirit heroes here, I see no Helmet of Dominator builders, so you're going to have to find pickoffs and do it the hard way. This is a good start.
Should be able to find Molasses on this one. Does reveal the Yule Scepter on Yi, which is somewhat atypical of a build on him. We'll see though if they can actually claim this building. They've really struggled in the past, and unfortunately, look how easy it is for them to clear out these waves. Kunkka gets rid of it, X is back to safety, and that's it. Push is over. You're done now. It's washed. At the very least, they're trying to angle for a kill down bottom onto Visage. But compare and contrast this. Visage alone draws back 3 TPs basically, takes the tower anyway, and just gets back, and they have no way to be able to catch up to him. It's starting to feel a little bit dicey here, Kips. Aster.Aries, it doesn't feel like they have that many options on the map. They've had this Blink Dagger for like a little bit on TK, and they still haven't found a good fight, but they're going to need for it now. 3 heroes caught with the Avalanche. No! Shang-Chi hooks back his own ally. There's going to be a supernova anyway, so maybe it is for the best. Shang-Chi, though, X back into the boat. Gonna crash into him. Sunray dealing so much damage. He's still super tanky. Has popped the Flesh Sheath and has gotten some assistance from Red Panda as well. Dismember going out onto the Phoenix will enable them to kill the Flapping Bird. Doom has been killed too. And they're going to bring down this Wraith Pact Totem. Who owns this? Must be Phoenix, right? No, not Phoenix. Is it Visage? Yeah, I went for the Wraith Pact. Didn't go for the Boots of Bearing Rush this game. Okay. And that's finally going to be the opportunity. Tier 1. It's finally this.
Yeah, I think the hook out there was a blessing. I'm not going to say that it was deliberate, but they really needed to not fight into that supernova again. They've taken so many fights into the supernova now without being able to take it down. Get out of that range, get that axe that you've developed on the Pudge, and yeah, they're going to go up close and personal with you and discover that you have absolutely hella damage and health regen reduction, which is well, a bonus versus a Phoenix Sunray in this case, though was not a problem.
That fight, it did feel initially like that hook might have ruined everything, but you know, in retrospect, TK was like, thanks fam, helped me get very far back. It helped us also helped them set up for the kill, because you could see Wolf team was very frustrated by the fact that, well, they've missed their hook, they've missed some of these spells. We should be able to take a fight, but it turned out not to be the case. But they are going to go into the Roshan pit. Not the fastest lineup in the world to take the big man down. Pudge can tank it pretty much indefinitely, but taking it, a different story entirely. And Wolf team, they understand that they do not want to give away an Aegis with the TA that has Blink Deso. You need to challenge and contest this. So they're going to go forward. TK, though, first finds a toss back onto TZ. Unfortunately, though, Ulu cannot finish off this Phoenix. So X will drag back Ulu. The Torrent won't connect either. So a lot of spells missing all around this pit, but I think Wolf were just pretty much trying to zone Aster.Aries out. But Aster.Aries now want to try and find something of their own, as they're going to smoke up here. Unfortunately, only one blink, and they don't have vision right now.
They would have loved to do this during the Eye of the Storm, but that has now run out. That means Wolf's back in.
Wolf coming back in with the hook, but they get the Doom out onto this Pudge right now, so he cannot save himself from the incoming damage. However, Red Panda throws in the false promise at the same time as Ulu's forced to commit onto the Supernova. That leaves him vulnerable to the right-click damage of Blessing and Vegetable Dog. They've taken down Ulu. False promise will elapse, and it will bring the Pudge down with it too. And Red Panda cannot stay alive either, as he gets brought down by a double kill from this Templar Assassin. Oh my goodness. That was a fight that Aster.Aries thought they were going to be able to take. They were positioned, hoping to break a smoke or two and force a fight afterwards, but they bit off way more than they could chew. The early Doom out onto the Pudge prevents any dismember plays. And yeah, like, Ulu has the BKB to fight into the Phoenix, but he spends most of its duration just trying to beat the egg down, and they get punished immediately after it's down.
And that also meant that the Oracle was between a rock and a hard place. Like, who do I save? My Razor is in the middle of the enemy team, or my Pudge, who's doomed right now? And he goes for the Pudge save, but that just means that, well, it's actually Ulu that's doomed to die. Does finish off the Halberd just now, though. Got to do that exactly before he died, so the next time he will be less vulnerable to this physical damage.
I'm also just
They're
loving
just
the
going
fact...
to go for the rush again.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I was just going to say, I love that Aster.Aries, in general, these Aster teams are still so confident around the Roshan pit, that even after a disastrous fight, we saw this from Aster, right? They'd be like, cool, you use some big ultimates, we're going to take Rosh. The sad thing is, though, they still can't. It just takes way too long for them to do it. They need more off the map to do this. And they're going to try and find more by picking out this Kunkka. Blessing. Will he die? Tries to armlet Talker like he did in the bottom lane. Not going to be able to do so. And they bring him down, but the big deal is that they bring him down without him having access to buyback. 400 gold off practically, so he cannot help with this team defense. Even though it's going to take forever, they'll finally get the Roshan.
Yeah, so is TZ going to dive steal this?
Might as well try.
He's going to try.
Let's see.
So sure.
What you got, bro? What you got? What you got? What you got? What you got? No, no, no! Oh.
No. I'm disappointed.
Feels bad. Well, that's an Aegis now until this Pudge. The most important thing I don't think is getting the Aegis, but denying it away from this TA draft and making sure that they don't have access to play around this. And especially the first one if you're playing this TA. So she's now going to have to lay low for quite a while until she finishes BKB at the very least.
Yep, and even BKB is not guaranteed, right? Because you're unfortunately up in a core-to-core matchup versus a very healthy Pudge, who is going to burn off all your affection charges like it's absolutely nothing. And especially once he gets his Blink Dagger, there's nothing really to stop him from getting on top of you.
And it's not like last game where they have, say, like a Winter's Curse or a Cold Embrace. One of these big kind of spells that immediately changes everything. It's like the kind of spells they have to push the Pudge away aren't instantaneous. And some of these stuns, by the time he gets there, if you're committing Doom onto Pudge after he's blinked to dismember the TA, it feels like it's already a little bit too late. X won't be there in time either. So once he does get this blink, a lot will change on the map since he already has access to the Sagnum Scepter. And they're going to utilize the strength, though, of this Aegis. They just keep pushing these waves. We're looking for this tier 2 tower. As Ulu was just cracked level 16 as well, getting closer towards 18. A very big Eye of the Storm spike. But it looks like they want to smoke or something. Oh no, they're just killing Zeus middle. Okay. Just commit the full doom onto him. Poor Yi. Yi has just had a rough game here in this game number 2. It might have felt like only his third death, but doesn't feel like he's allowed to just sit in the backlines as usual at the Zeus, pumping in the damage. Feels like he has to be playing very, very carefully every single time he gets looked at.
There's especially the X marks for him to worry about. There's also a visage stuns that might find him from the side and get 1 or 2 soul assumptions to the face, you fall over. They have a lot of range in that regard.
TK holding the fort in the top lane. Wants to get an initiation out onto the Visage. Yet again, though. Okay, that was entertaining. Toss play, sending back the Visage on top of the Pudge, but Pudge had actually hooked out TK. But it's not going to matter because, as you say, Ulu's here. Has Eye of the Storm going. Happy to commit it if it means killing this pesky, pesky Visage. And they not only get that kill, the gold that they accrued thanks to being supported by Shang-Chi is also going to be good enough for them to finish the full halberd on Pudge. So they have the double halberd available now. Both of them up just at the same time as BKB on Vegetable Dog. But either way, the next fight, if they can reveal these items, can just make sure that the CA does like nothing in the fight. And she's very far away from having Bloodthorn or MKB of her own to try and deal with this.
Yep, like 5-second disarm is... Halberd's so good versus these range carries. Like it feels like it was made to inconvenience TA specifically.
Specifically her.
Her side too. Yeah. And we're already seeing rustling around this triangle again. Aries, you said it. I'm just gonna repeat it. Obsessed with this radiant triangle.
Yep. Literally every game they're going to be spending as much time as humanly possible living in this area. And yes, we can see their opponents also play somewhat in the triangle, but not to the same degree as these Aster's teams do. I want to send some DMs to the Aster coaches and say, yo, what's happening? What kind of conversation did y'all have?
He's not going to tell you.
Nah, they won't tell me.
Like what? We don't do that. I've heard players deny stuff in interviews that I know they're doing. It's very funny.
Like, we know you're luring like this.
We just improvise. We just felt like picking that hair, and I'm like, yeah, sure.
Like, sure. Tell us another story. I've got a post to tell you.
Oh, no hook hit there for Shang-Chi.
A little bit unfortunate. Something else that's also very unfortunate is that I have very stupidly managed to spill a bunch of water onto my keyboard and my table, but it is fine. We're still out here. We'll make this work.
Ulu TP's out. This feels like jockeying for position. It does not actually feel like this ages from the Pudge yet. It's only 30 seconds. They haven't really used it to get anything apart from the towers on the top side of the map.
Yeah.
Aries is still very much biding their time. I mean, one of the things that they're biting for sure, is that refresher over on the Razor. But I kind of think that they also want a plate mail on top of that. So... that's a lot of time biding versus a lineup that's rocking more scaling than you do, I think.
Yeah. I do not want to be playing into this late game against like TA, Visage, Kunkka's, Phoenixes.
Doom.
Yeah, double Dooms. Because he's going to eventually get there. He's about to pick up this BKB on Molasses and just 1,000 gold. And eventually this Molasses Doom will turn into a 4th core for the side of Wolf Team. That is the one thing that they have available to them. That they just have so many more heroes to be able to utilize in the late game. And Aster.Aries still really struggling with being able to express advantage on the map. TK will be able to get a big jump onto Vegetable Dog. Here comes the Pudge. Dismember will be on. There's a BKB buying time and space. And after the Dismember finishes, no other way to cancel out this TP. So TA is just like, bye. Gets home. Everything's safe.
Because Shang-Chi calls the bluff there. It's like, no, your team is not actually behind you. And he's right, but that still doesn't mean that she's dead.
Yeah. With a smoke up though to try and get something else off the map. They know that if they find somebody else, there's a high likelihood that that hero would be isolated. Who will they come across here? They get on to TZ. Big job from Shang-Chi. And to be able to find that kill. But it is only a Phoenix. They also had to throw in the Thunder God's Wrath to make that happen. So it's not the most comfortable kill in the world for them to pick up.
a little bit of information out of that, but they can't actually make any follow-up kills happen either. And they're using this Pudge as a frontliner still, but the breaks are starting to come online. There has been a Silver Edge over on this Kunkka for a while now, and the Doom is angling for an Aghanims afterwards as well.
Jump in. That's a Pudge.
X marks.
X marks will not drag TK back because there will be a Yules to save him. And there's Molasses getting a hook, but unfortunately, is that the target you wanted to hook, my friend? He's in danger. False Promise will bail him out of said danger, at least for a second. But Ulu, his BKB is down. He's gonna get X back. Will be forced to refresh and pop the secondary BKB, but now the duration is ever lower, already down to 6 seconds. And they have to flee on the rest of these heroes. Blessing, hoping for an angle onto the Zeus, who doesn't have a BKB of his own, but still does manage to flee away. Several heroes end up taking a fight. Only one hero dies, and it's Shang-Chi on this Pudge, getting taken down. No more tower pressure. And yet again, they were the ones making the push, but suddenly, Aster.Aries is the ones losing a tier 2.
Exactly, and I think this is the time pressure coming into play. Like, Aster.Aries know they need to do something, but they're now in the unenviable position of having to pressure into a team that's good at counter-engaging while they're on the clock. It feels like the previous game, and this started all the way back in the first picks of the draft.
You'd love to see
I love it when the full picture comes together.
Yeah. Wolf was certainly prepared for this matchup. They knew how to get around this. They knew what they needed to do to put Aster.Aries in a very uncomfortable position. The TA does pick up a Lincoln Sphere now as well, so the one play that they had available to them on the side of Aster.Aries to try and threaten Vegetable Dog, no longer available. BKB and Lincoln Sphere, so the Pudge jump in is just gonna be, okay, meh, who cares?
Yeah, you're going to have to halberd break. And that is unfortunate, because if then your Pudge gets stunned out of it through any other means, yeah, she's just going to start hitting you.
Gosh. Well, we spoke earlier about how Aster.Aries were able to steal away this Aegis from the Wolf team lineup. And stealing away Aegis is very important, but it's normally Roshan number 2 that allows TA to really get online. And they've claimed it now for them. She has Aegis, Quicksilver Amulets, Deso, Blink Lincolns. She is not dying anytime soon. And they also picked up the Aghanim shot. Who did they give the shot to? Phoenix, right? Here we go. Now we've got their Ada boss Sunray coming out for them. And Aster.Aries have smoked, but Kips, what does this smoke accomplish? Where can they even go off the back of this?
You're hoping that they're splitting up to farm immediately after getting the Roche, right? It's a blind read, and you hope you're running into somebody, picking them off, and getting an opportunity to take the Aegis away earlier. We've seen that scenario play out before, right? Where it's like, oh yeah, I have an Aegis, I'm just gonna move forward, everybody else moves backward. Oh, I lost my Aegis. Like, those things happen, and you're giving yourself the opportunity for that to happen by smoking there, but unfortunately, Wolf are just backed all the way off.
Something super awkward is happening now where I can see the water damage is getting to my keyboard because random buttons are being pressed. Lol.
Are you sure you don't have to, like, do something about that?
I mean, it's too late. We're already in the game. I'd have to, like, disconnect it, go to the back, and given how things are going right now, there's 100% chance that a massive fight breaks out while that happens, so...
You're not wrong.
And then,
Here comes the smoke.
You see? What if I'd gone right now, Kips? Right before the smoke comes in.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Doesn't seem like they're going to be able to find anything themselves either. They draw the correct line. Molasses wants to go up onto the high ground here. TK is sitting in the trees, hoping to break any kind of maneuvers like this. So they make the right read of where to go, but as the smoke breaks,
TK... die for it. Yes.
Yeah. It's worth it, though. It's better that TK dies because of what he was protecting. Right in front of him was Ulu on this Razor. So it makes sense to give up your own life to ensure that your actual carry hero gets to survive for another day at the very least.
And Ulu got one more wave out of that. He already had the refresher in the previous fight, but I gotta say, it really didn't look like a big, powerful power spike for this Razor. He's got a Blink Dagger now, so we're going to see him full commit for the next fight. That is the goal here. Full commit. Get, like... Who do you even blink on, though?
That's the question. Because no matter where you blink, right, you're putting yourself in danger. You can blink onto the TA, think to yourself, I'm going to get double Eye of the Storm, drain her, and then kill her. But they have the damage to kill you right now. Like, even through your Eye of the Storm, Static Link. So you're gonna end up dying if you jump TA. If you jump onto the Kunkka, Kunkka can just either Silver Edge away from you or just drop the boat, and you don't have the unnecessary burst damage to kill him because he's also got the BKB. You can't jump the Visage because he's too far back. And if you jump Doom, well, okay. So support Doom, who cares? He's just like Gucci fam, do you. Just feels like, and honestly, I would have preferred, I think this is the second time in a row that we see these Razors find themselves in a situation where it might have been a little bit better off getting a bit more armor for themselves rather than just going for this raw blink.
Yeah, like the Halberd doesn't really, especially because they're rocking double Halberd on this team, like the fights haven't been long enough to make use of double Halberd. So maybe, like, maybe the plate mill get the refresher a little bit earlier. I don't know though, it's hard to say. As a Razor, you don't really have a lot of agency once the game gets to this point because you're very reliant on your team to actually get you targets to kill. And then, you know, you can stand on top of them, walk the dog, all that good stuff. But, and his team feels so insecure about going in right now because going in is death.
Yep. We also have a new item reveal coming in. A Vegetable Dog has picked up an MKB. It's flying in from the courier right now and starting to angle towards having a Swift Blink. MKB, Lincolns, they're not going to try and push having access to this Aegis. It turned out to just be a map control / tier 2 Aegis, but nonetheless, they are in such a promising position. Vegetable Dog, usually we spoke about how Razor can be a counter to TA. That is certainly not true when she is like 2 items ahead of you as she is right now.
Exactly. Like, these two heroes have this interesting dynamic where, depending on the farm level, they counter each other. Like, Razor ahead, Razor counters TA. TA ahead, TA counters Razor. Like, he does not have a lot of HP natively, he does not have a lot of armor natively, and he needs time to build up his damage and his own minus armor, whereas TA just rips through you and then says, oh no, you stole like 50 damage, how awful, I have 250 more.
Well, we're gonna have to see Aster.Aries do something special though, as they will smoke outside of their base here. They realize that if they are corralled in that area, whether or not they're strong at this point, or if they feel strong later, doesn't matter because you just lose the game almost automatically. So they're gonna try and make something happen. Hook will not connect from Shang-Chi. So this Visage still in a good position. This Visage also now has the full Boots of Bearing. Almost has gold for the AC, but now TK gets the jump forward. No! The toss only hits a creep. Worst case scenario. Tidal Wave will also make sure that TK is as far away from his own team as possible. No buyback on the Tiny, so they can now force more of a fight here from Wolf. They're going onto the high ground. Zeus will throw in the Nimbus Cloud, and they will be able to connect onto the Visage. Visage will die, but here is the Supernova on the high ground. They're going to be going with the hook, the Pudge Doom at first, as the egg will pop in his face. Molasses does have the refresher. Not enough mana for a secondary Doom, but they still are looking for a target. We'll throw in the Sentinel, War Conqueror Stomp to bring down Red Panda. You see though, TZ making the chase forward, looking for Yi here, but they're not going to be able to catch him. They will take the consolation prize of this Oracle, but with 2 of these heroes not having buyback, fortunately for them, they died far enough away that they might not be able to run up onto the high ground, and they did manage to bring down the Visage, but still looking so complicated.
Open it up, look at the TA's damage.
Okay.
She was not necessary in that fight.
At all.
Ares got the opening kill of that fight, then disabled the TA, put the Razor in her face, squeezed her out of the fighting arena all the way into the river, and it was not necessary because this Kunkka and this Doom did all the work. I have never seen the loss written out so clearly.
Yeah, I think the writing is on the wall right now. Aster.Aries, they'll need to call up Lanem and find the textbook and say, what do we do? What's the chapter of recovering an unrecoverable game? Because that's certainly where they're at right now. That's the thinking that they have to be undergoing. It's too many items on the... We spoke about like this Temper Assassin being several items ahead of the Razor, but Kunkka's also really high up there. Shard, BKB, Lincoln's, Armlet, as well as the Silver Edge. And the great thing about Kunkka, you don't necessarily have to always build up pure raw damage items. Get that Tidebringer clean. If it does enough for you, all you need to be able to do is survive, get control, and then damage will come by itself.
Yeah, being alive is damage on especially heroes like Kunkka. He is, in that regard, even better than a Razor who... Sure, he does a bunch of that stuff, but eventually his things wear off, at least he's going to get to refresh again. Like, Wolf is taking this so easy. They could go way faster than this, make use of the fact that the refresher is down, that they're in between items over on Aster.Aries, but no, just more items. Who cares?
No rush.
We have scaling to do.
No
So he's
rush.
gonna buy Nags. Doom's gonna buy Shivas, because as you said in the previous fight, he needs the mana for that refresher to actually be able to use it. Doom is 300 mana, my dudes. That is a lot for a strength hero.
Yeah.
So yeah.
300 mana for the Doom and 300 mana for the refresher. He literally, even if he wants to, cannot use them both in one fight.
He cannot do his power.
Once he gets the Shivas though, the very scary thing is that not only will it assist him in being able to make sure he has the mana for the double Doom, now suddenly there's a bit more sadness onto heroes like the Pudge. Walking around when you have Shivas on top of you, not really what you want. And of course, they're all playing with Oracle, so that heal reduction gonna have a massive impact on how Aster.Aries want to approach these fights. They're trying to take back this outpost though, but the jump in, Blessing, gonna try and stop this from happening. They take out the Nimbus Cloud. They cannot get the drag back with the tidal wave. However, they do have the X into the Torrent onto TK. False Promise will buy time, but a newly revealed Abyssal Blade from Blessing will make sure that that time is maybe not successful. Let's see. Nope, he's dead. Way too much damage. Now they don't have a False Promise and they don't have a Tiny for whatever might come next. And what's coming next is another Roshan. Since they have the TA lineup, you might as well go and say what's up to the big man.
Yeah, and TA, she had that Aghanims queued up just for, you know, the global capabilities. But I think she's going to get it for free from Roche. Unless, I mean, it would be greedy. The way better option clearly here is to let the Kunkka get, yeah, the water park.
Nice.
Let's go.
Nice.
We are full summer trip on this boyo.
Kids, real talk. I'm looking at Kunkka. I see he has 4,000 HP and 30 armor. How do they kill him?
Not.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, but it helps to check in with your analyst on these sort of like dicey, finicky questions.
Oh boy. Who can they kill? Can they kill TA? She has Aegis, so nope. Can they kill Doom? He's about to get Shivas. They actually went double Boots of Bearing. LOL. That's when you've got too much money.
The double drums. I was like, I can excuse it. That's fine. But yeah, double Boots of Bearing. Okay. They're spamming voice lines now. They're just taunting them.
It's really all up to Aster.Aries to try and figure out what to do. I mean, we don't like talking about gold leads, but when it's at 42,000, 43 now, that'll start to become a little bit relevant. That, hey guys, we actually have a 0 net worth on any of our heroes. The only heroes that were lapsing in the net worth is like the Phoenix. Even this Visage, sitting with a Cheese, Pipe, AC, Wraith Pact, a Stormcrafter, and Boots of Bearing. Good luck, boys. Good luck.
Good times. There comes the Pipe. Raising the front lines. Oh, the hookups.
How is he always hooking TK? What is happening? Jump forward though from Wolf.
Ulu committed.
Ulu over-committed, maybe. He's gonna have to get back, but he can't. The BKB is done. Tackle wave is gonna push it back. Gonna lose his life. Now there's gonna be a Pudge in danger as well. Both will crash in onto him. There's a false promise, but it is very, very false. Supernova right in front of the Pudge's face with the sun ray is definitely gonna burn him out. TK follows him into the grave. And with all these heroes dying, guess who it is, Kips, who throws in the towel? It's Ulu, who calls GG. As Aster.Aries go down 2-0 against the side of Wolf. An upset to be sure, but the way they played, they made it look like they were the team favored to begin with.
Absolutely. They had that strategy measured out from the start. Like,